Get over your bag.
Figure it out.
I brought grapes. We don't have to have M&Ms.
Oh,
I brought grapes.
no chocolates or M&Ms, right?
You try those? I saw them in the store, like in Walmart the other day. They're like, but they're in like a frozen fruit, and it's like real grapes with their frozen. They have like some sour coating. I bought some. I haven't tried them yet. So in my freezer. You can do that. If you do just regular grapes, a jello grapes.
There's some kind of mix I thought.
Yeah,
I never tried
used
it.
to do it with just a jello. Yeah, I did it when I was a kid because I wanted sweet stuff.
Every time. Oh, look at you. I just ate sweet stuff all the time.
Pay you the big bucks right there.
Those pears I bought, I literally like postpartum, I lived off those for anytime I was hungry, just pop one in. And that's how you end up weighing more after you're pregnant than you do while you were pregnant.
Well, I'm so chilly now that I did. I was pregnant.
Still better than
After gaining 40 pounds. They really good prelim rounds and semifinals.
Sure.
But, so
Yeah,
we have like,
Justin's got it. Justin's
we
gonna
get to
run the
take
show
16
tonight.
trips, right?
The numbers
With
like.
8 of them through the
I will also not be
semifinals,
running the show.
but then like,
Okay, so we took your proposal and we have a few adjustments highlighted. We redlined it just.
okay. Over there, you okay?
What? Yeah, why?
You made a noise. Was it a hiccup?
Yeah,
Okay.
I get hiccups really easy.
And then
Sorry.
we also, oh, you don't? Hey, that's fine. So, that the first red sentence is already currently in there. So we felt like that was, important to leave that in there. And then going down on the use of days, instead of it being 1 or 2, we just put it all as a statement and added may. We would like to request that all employees hit a max of 60. It's just easier for record keeping and in Skyward. Then down below, instead of 100% of the base sub pay, $100 per day. And I think the rest, and then we just on the very back page, this put the professional development council, so that. Good catch. So a couple changes there. So to summarize, like your proposal, the buying down at $130 a day, it was gonna cost the district around $133,000. By doing it, according to this proposal, it takes it down to 107. And then moving forward, currently, we also tied in, and we can pass it around, the retirement payout, because it kind of correlates with the PTO. So our proposal on it currently, it's $140 for 15 days and then $34 at 70. Okay, so one of those is mine. And our proposal is to do all days at $75. So currently the max retirement payout that a certified employee could get is $4,480. With the new way, it takes it up to $5,400. So over $1,000 more at retirement, because annually our proposal is less. But our proposal is less because people can sell days back sooner now, so it's more of a burden to the district. But we wanted to reward people more at retirement as well. So on the retirement, as you can see, it's just all days available at retirement at $75 instead of 2 different rates.
So that you said I think you said the one-time buyback would be $100 per day as well?
No, we left that at the 100.
That's just the going forward.
Yeah, so, yeah, and one thing I see that, I don't know that we specified it in here, but we'd also like to propose that we do it to make it more financially feasible to do a 15-day max, which right now people sell with a 15-day max. So if somebody has 80 days, they would sell 15 this year. And then next, they would not lose those additional 5. They would get a carry in, so then next year they get a max of 15. So we would never take days away, but just to make it financially feasible, do the max of 15. And that's the 107,000. is doing a 15-day max to buy down. And we should have put that in red at the top of here.
My only concern with the language at the top is any instance not provided for herein. That was referencing the specific like instances in which we can take leave for emergency leave, right? Like those are not gonna be provided for anymore with this language, right? Like we're not gonna have specific.
So maybe you just need to take out not provided for herein and just say any absence or any abuse of the provisions of this leave. Maybe just start with any abuse of the provisions of this leave.
I mean, I think that would help. I still think there needs to be a conversation about what does that look like? Has that ever
What would
been
that
a,
mean?
yeah. But I do think that might help.
Okay. I think it's in there to protect the district if somebody just like exhausts all their leave and continues to not come to work and there's no doctor's reasoning or anything.
Oh, like they're taking the deductions over and over and over again. I see.
Yeah.
That's what you're referring to there?
Yeah.
You really can't abuse PTO.
That's right, that's what I was thinking, but I understand.
Yeah.
Because they're just taking the deduction. So they still getting some money during those days. I see, okay. Okay, I understand. Any other questions, concerns? Copies for Tim?
Let's do 15, we have to walk all the way down.
Oh. There's no traffic.
15. The other, the numbers, we're good. We're all good with the numbers. That all sounds good for us. The only issue we have is the language under use of days. We think the changes, right under like, yeah, 1 and 2.
Gotcha, okay.
We think to combine those and make it and. If I'm sick with COVID, like whatever, and I miss 4 days, I'm not gonna be able to apply for that ahead of time. I think that this leaves some ambiguity in like asking employees to do that. Because it says certified employees must submit an application for leave form. And then right underneath that says the request must be submitted in advance, right? So what I would like for leave form in as far in advance as possible. And then, or 2, if reason for absence is illness, maybe ask for a doctor's note. You want an application even if someone's sick, is that why? Is that what we're going for?
Yeah, so, and the reason that we require an application for leave form, no matter what, is for tracking purposes to know where that employee was. So if you don't have leave in Skyward and you don't fill out a leave form, we have no tracking if you work that day or not. The application for leave form proves that you were in fact on a leave of absence. So like if you ever came back, like, and there's no record of you being gone in Skyward, no record of you being there, no application for leave form, and you like turn up hurt, it could be like a work comp thing, like you can't prove if you were there or not.
Okay.
So that's the rationale of why we have the application for leave form, is to, like, most times we know that you're gone because of Skyward. If that's not an option, the form takes care of it.
I see.
So after you get back from being sick, you would fill out that form,
Yeah,
which we don't normally do right now.
yeah, actually, we do that.
If
If
you're
it's
taking a
extended
paid
absence.
absence, we require it.
Oh, if it's extended, yes.
But like anytime somebody is gone and they don't have leave, we make them fill that out already. So I guess our hangup
And
was,
if you're taking, like right now, personal days, and you're taking more than, is it 3 in a row?
yeah,
You have to fill that form out. I mean, they're.
yeah, it has more purposes, but
But
yeah. And I guess our hangup was with the 1 and 2, the right way it read, certified employees must submit the form, or that we always require that form if they're
Okay.
out of leave.
So we talked about the request must be submitted in advance if possible. We
Uh-huh.
talked about that. We just thought that left too much ambiguity on like when is possible.
Right.
But
The request must be submitted in.
But I do see what you're saying. If you're sick, you're not gonna be able to fill that out.
As soon
You can't
as possible.
Like I
I
get,
think the word
I get hit by a
application-
bus and I'm in the hospital. I'm not gonna be able to fill that form out. I mean, I get what you're saying.
But I understand if that's the tracking purpose, if that's something we've done in the past, like having that submitted afterwards.
Which is put as soon as possible.
So an application for leave is always requested, but should be submitted in advance when possible or something, I don't know.
Great, yeah.
But if we could get in there that it is always required, always requested, I guess that's
Oh,
part of
yeah,
the,
I mean-
that's part of the
number 1.
confusion, is that it doesn't
Yeah.
actually say that you always want one.
Yeah, I think
Certified
there's like
employees
a
must
little
always submit an application for leave form.
a little bit of the weirdness
absence
here
is
with this
longer
is
than
like
3 days.
grabbing
Yeah.
language that's
Mhm.
currently an emergency and grabbing language that's currently in personal leave and kind of like
Kind of a.
trying,
Right.
you know, we're making
Yeah.
this kind of a Frankenstein sort of thing with that. And I think that makes it be a little bit,
So.
makes it read a little bit weird
Yeah.
sometimes.
So if we did, certified employees must submit an application for leave form as far as in advance as possible, and certified employees may be asked for a doctor notes if reason for absence is illness, and just take out the must be submitted in advance at the bottom.
This request must be submitted in advance.
And instead just put the request is subject to approval by the superintendent or the designee.
I think that sounds fine.
Send it as far in advance as possible.
And as far as
Should we
advance
just
as
put
possible.
as soon as possible, because that way it's after you're sick.
Oh, as soon
But
as
as soon as
possible.
possible.
Yeah,
So I think
that way it
it's
clears up. Because it's not gonna be correct.
Yeah.
That causes the same problem, right? So as soon as possible.
Mhm.
I could put it in the teal so you guys can see it.
Yes.
Of
Oh, do you-
course he leaves,
do you
when
have
he's
this
needed.
as digital, sister?
I do.
Oh, yeah.
Nope, Drew did it.
Drew.
Drew.
We did it in Drew's office. I should
He's
say.
gonna be like, I told you guys needed me.
We did it in Drew's office.
You gotta stop doing that.
He always wants to do it in his office.
That's 'cause he's got the big TV.
Who got that giant monitor?
When did we?
Array.
Just last week.
Was this last
It's
week?
the proposal, yeah, you gave us your
Yeah,
proposal
we
last week, yeah.
It was 28th, right?
Yes, 28.
These evenings start to feel like there's been about 35.
I know.
I think it's also because they're like 4 hours long.
Becca-
That's a whole
Becca
lot of
asked me,
time.
when was what negotiation update this would be for, or negotiations meeting number this would be? I'm like 15 or something like that. She's like, I don't think so. I'm like,
Not
"Right, it's
even
probably
close.
8.
Not
It feels
quite.
like it some nights.
So who has control of this?
I do.
Oh,
What do you want me to do?
Oh, you do.
It's very small right now.
Come on.
But although it didn't,
PTO.
it wasn't that small a little bit ago, so I don't, something happened.
just go like this on your,
Oh, yeah.
that looks beautiful. It's glitching.
Yeah.
No, that's what it looks like on there.
It looks like that here too.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
It's glitching.
Oh, there we go.
Is that the streaming app right there?
Yeah.
Did you move it?
Nope.
Drew moved it.
I did not.
I like it.
This is what she's at.
Sitting
We're
here.
gonna insult him.
I
So
was
he's
like,
oh.
I'll just cut the camera off entirely.
Amber's like, thank you.
We need you, Drew.
Can you help Josh with the computer?
What are you trying to say?
You're not doing very good.
That you're struggling.
It's, I don't
I don't think
understand
it's
what
me
it's
though,
doing.
because it's,
It's your
Yeah,
Mac.
this
It's
looks
doing
like-
something.
Oh,
Oh, wait.
that's for dismissal.
oh, that might be because.
Oh, there we go, PTO. Okay.
Might be because I'm on it too. What do you mean?
Display it weird.
We actually need the language you guys wrote for leave.
Do you have that electronically?
That way I can work on this.
Did I write
Did you already check it?
We did it in your office.
You did it there, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question.
You would have
How
saved
about
it
There we
in the
Looks like-
negotiated agreement working doc we have.
So,
I'm pretty sure you did.
is that where we wrote it?
Yeah, it's in the negotiated agreement working doc you had.
I mean, it wouldn't be that hard to do by hands. You're gonna copy and paste Amber's here, and then this is all just deleting. This is all deleting. It's not like typing anything.
Well, plus there needs to go in the thing about the 15 days at a time, like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
you know, that's what it is.
Yeah, you're right.
At least for,
Everybody's
until
caught up.
people are clear of that.
That should probably.
This is, I never
Where it
understood.
talks about
I mean, I get percentages for when you
excessive
retire.
60.
I mean, I guess there just
When you
needs to
get
be.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
Language
language
anyway
anyway.
about this, like one-time buyback.
Make it.
You're right, never mind.
Because currently it's just
Leave it
listed.
And that's where it's.
That just makes no sense.
Yeah.
I've heard about that.
16.35.
No, it's what,
16.67.
6.7.
What is?
Like when you retire, the amount of additional payment shall be, so your retirement buyout. It's.
Josh, you're
Oh,
negotiating
that
for
right
them.
there, I
No.
see it.
I just never
He's
understood the
looking
point
at
67.
Yeah, like that is a weird.
Yeah.
You're negotiating.
Right over there.
I don't understand why we put a decimal in there, why we
Yeah,
just make it a
that's-
round number.
Josh again.
Give me 16.
Hey, yeah, I was gonna say, he could be running down.
Take off the decimals, all
Make that note for next year, please.
We'll be prepared.
Josh has already said he's going.
Round it up to the next whole.
Mary's gonna be eligible for retirement here pretty soon.
Oh.
So, right, yeah.
No.
Open that proposal, I'll watch him do this live.
Oh, is he doing on this one?
Remember we did this in your representation?
Oh, I like how it gives him a name. He's not anonymous walrus or anonymous aardvark.
That's because he owns
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
He signed in.
I like it when you're an anonymous.
Email that to me.
ridiculous
Oh, when's that
animal.
gonna be this today?
We found it. It's coming your way.
Oh, well.
He's almost done.
There you go, Levi. Now that you're done, we found it, we're sending it to you.
You're welcome.
How was your week off, Jessica? Busy?
I worked yesterday because of board meeting. And so
So now you're here.
How's it going?
yeah, my week off is.
You're really good.
well.
Shrinking, it's shrinking.
Yeah.
Joe, we need to find a reason to call her into work tomorrow.
I'm not.
Her phone is off.
Tomorrow is cleaning day. You won't want me to come in.
She'll come in and you gotta clean.
Mhm.
Take this.
And then family comes Thursday.
Look,
Tennessee, Colorado, and Texas.
all
And
of our
Nebraska.
exciting reactions.
I need that business card you got the other day,
It's fun.
True.
to visit, but it's.
so I can call
Yeah.
Miss Ruby,
Randy
see what she charges.
Oh.
Oh, for.
I got,
Oh,
I've got 4
Okay.
RVs,
Do it.
4 RVs.
That are gonna be
before I
parked.
get in.
I have-
2 are already there,
That's awesome.
Do you have hookups or no?
generators.
She's like, we are making it work, people.
And my little one, I'm like, you're in the upstairs guest room. He's like, I'm in the horse trailer.
Hey, you're like, sure, works for me.
Oh my God.
Like, is that how?
Should that be
that's
there,
in the
or should
agreement,
that be
or
under
it
unused
like-
PTO?
Or the,
Well, yeah, you
or
got something.
25, 26.
I would put, yeah, we probably need to put the year in there too.
But I mean, it also like, that
It'll
needs to,
go
that needs
beyond
to
that.
continue until people have, like, I mean, I guess theoretically.
You
people
don't
have
need the
been
year.
through it
And then we'll honor it.
100 days, right?
Could be up to 3 years.
Yeah.
I looked, I think like, there's like 4 that won't have it this year or next,
So you think it would be 2 years?
besides like 4.
For 2025, 26, 27.
And it's 28. So there's 4 that would be.
No, but she said 2 years though.
No,
Yeah,
I
she
said
said it
4 employees after 2 years.
Oh.
Still need it, yeah, sorry.
Oh, got it.
I mean, I guess they're also,
If they
people
don't
who are
retire.
like extended.
Right.
They sell back a maximum of 15 days per year.
You got that in there.
Yeah.
I put it at the end, but you're probably right. So back in maximum. Year.
At $130 per day.
What's the language to down to 60?
Until
May sell back days.
until a
in
maximum of
excess
60 days
Right, nice.
remain or something.
They sell back days in excess of
8 days.
60.
That's been,
Until 60 is reached.
Until a maximum of 60 days
Until the cap
remain.
of 60.
total cap of 60 is reached.
Mhm.
And you just need A or B, not
Yeah.
both, until
He likes.
he couldn't decide which to use.
Did you put the wording in there for A?
Yeah, it's like that.
May implies a choice.
Where are we at?
Where?
Well, I'm still up in certified
Oh.
employees may sell back.
Oh, you're right. Shall. So back.
I mean, I'll give them the option if they don't want to.
Right.
Or the district will buy back, I don't know how you wanna say it, that's fine.
That's,
Because we're not gonna send forms or anything, we're just gonna automatically do it, yeah. And that's another reason why 60 for all is gonna be great, cause we'll just set Skyward to notify any days over 60 and then pay them out.
did you want to change it to the district shall buy back?
Um,
What's happening?
that's fine. You can do that.
I like that.
I think it's probably not gonna matter, but I think there needs to be clarification because people will start the year with more than 60 every year who are at 60, right? So, it only,
60 carryover.
yes, this provision only applies for certified employees who currently have.
Over. or
So
carrying
like
over
this
60.
verbiage here.
Yeah, because otherwise we're saying the people who have 90, right? This right now,
Mhm.
they're gonna sell back 15 this year, 15 next year, whatever, right? But people who have 60 are going to be up to 72 next year. If they
They're
don't
not
sell
gonna
them,
get the.
they're not gonna get the $130 per day. They're only gonna get the $100 per day,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Right.
So for employees
and that needs to be.
currently.
So we need to like this
As of the end of 24-25 or something.
This provision applies to certified employees.
who have more than, it would be 75 accrued days at the end of the 2024. Is that right?
Yep.
Because less than 75.
And no one will get up to 75 next year, even extended month
What if
contracts.
they,
What if we're not ratified till November?
What if what if I currently have, 78 days,
You'll sell 15.
I'll sell 15.
And then because you're more than
And then I'll be at
75 at the end
63.
of this year,
Uh-huh.
you'll get to sell
Okay.
3 more.
Yeah.
Because at the end of this school year, you're above 75. So that statement applies to you.
So,
what happens to people who have like 68 days?
Yeah.
In between there.
Because they,
you carry over 60.
because they'll sell 8, the district will buy back 8, and they don't have more than 75, so that doesn't apply,
Oh,
now they.
you- so-
Right,
Okay, we have
if I
some-
now carry, if
yeah.
I end the year with 68, right, I won't have ended the year with more than 75 accrued days at the end of the 2024-2025
Next
school year.
year.
But I will have, I will have
Yeah.
more than
Going over
60
the
to carry
cap.
over.
So this provision only applies, how about instead of applies to certified employees, applies to days accrued above 60 at the end.
Yeah, that would be.
Today is already accrued
Prior to this.
by,
Already accrued above 60 at the end of the 2024. school year.
Only applies to, 3 days.
What was the point of taking out the certified employee part?
Because the math doesn't work, it's right, if you have 78 at the end of this year, you're gonna buy back 15,
Is
you're
that
down to
like
63,
employees?
but then you
You
get
be able to
12
sell
more,
3 more.
Right.
you're gonna go right back up.
And then the rest of it is sold.
Yes, but that last one would
The
imply
days
I can sell them all back,
you have five.
should be right back up to above 75 again.
Okay. In section A, can you capitalize certified employees? And underneath use of days, can you capitalize employees? Oh, actually, all 3 of those employees?
He was already.
I just want to make it very easier to copy that later.
Was it supposed to say must submit an application always?
Oh, wait, oh, that's
Yeah,
not up because there's
application.
no edit access. Who am I supposed to, whose is this?
Trues.
That's his login right now?
I
Oh,
copied,
I don't,
Diamond.
Josh has it.
I copied and pasted and sent you, but I think you were already a little bit beyond.
What do I need?
where I was.
Do you need me to do something, Levi?
No, I just need to give you, I'm gonna need you to refresh in a second so you guys can see the suggested changes.
And then down here,
I'm gonna just refresh that, Josh.
you may elect to forfeit unused days. We were gonna automatically do that.
Unused days in excess of 60
Oh, yeah, cause that
shall
had to
be
be,
exchanged.
yeah, cause that used to be 100. And they didn't have to sell back to 70 if they don't want to.
Right.
Okay. So.
So, or who are retired will be compensated $100 per day for all unused PTO days in excess of 60 or.
Oh,
No, I think it's because it started as a sentence.
oh,
Say that again,
yes.
I'm sorry.
So, who are retiring under capers will be compensated at $100 per day. For unused PTO days in exchange of, yeah, at $100 per day for unused PTO days in excess of.
Yeah, I gotta approve it and then I'll change it. All right, so section A needs repeater and digital mixed use, we're good with that, yes?
Mhm.
Okay, and then, so then unused days 1 and 2, do you want me to just hit the
Did we
check
want,
mark so you guys can see it?
did we want to put certified employees must always submit or no? To click. Clarify that.
Must
Yes.
and must always is the same.
Okay, got it. It is technically. People.
So,
We're good?
What about, did you change professional development?
I did, I changed it to community council.
Bravo.
in correlation with that, were you guys good on the retirement part of what we gave?
Yes.
Okay.
Although I do wonder, like, sitting here talking about this language, I do wonder if it needs a notation on here too, of like if it's over 60, it's $100.
No, it's not. At retirement,
Didn't we just, that other sentence says retired under papers,
Oh, yeah.
right? So if you go back to where.
yeah, that needs taken out because that's for
who are
our
retired under
verbiage.
papers.
Yeah.
So you just,
So all certified employees who have more than 60 days of unused in current year and have a contract that will be compensated. Yeah,
so
take out
all who are
that.
retired.
Yeah.
Good catch.
Yeah, like, I think it just needs to be.
Yeah, that needs
consistent.
to come out.
Very good catch.
And then, yeah, retirement all days are at 75.
Cool.
And that's below where it's the 16.67%.
Just you are sure.
Can we get a 5-minute conference real quick? 5:45 minutes?
I mean, it's good, it's gonna be walking down there and back.
Well, you're right, actually. Let's call it 10, 5:50.
I get her exercising.
I've been calling in.
Got some.
Drew. Or still, there's a time she can come in tomorrow and talk to you.
Yep.
Cause Drew wants to talk to her.
Everybody wants
I wouldn't go out of my way to talk to Trish, I didn't have to.
I'm not going.
Should I mute this? Yes, my doctor. Good call.
Just look
Takes a
over
village.
like zooming in on some days. Some days.
Not me.
It's just.
How many districts people does it take to put the microphone on?
Very
Oh, it's
appreciative.
it's just on the wrong, why is it? Why is it still on the wrong page, like we took some stuff out there?
I just sent it, Levi.
What is it, did you Josh?
Being executives.
Yeah, Jim, I sent it to you.
You know?
Didn't want to come through,
Nah.
or we're in the tech office.
Maybe it's quarantine.
Jokes.
Yeah.
Should have done
Okay. I put it in the body of the email
6 in there, but.
Yeah.
to James.
I'm a good Jolly Ranchers is that she cuts all the Jolly Ranchers.
She's still good.
The best was the birds.
I am.
There's clusters and no duds are my
See
favorite.
if you got it now, Levi. Bueno, no bueno.
No internet in the tech office.
It is saying it's not going through.
Well, I mean, you have access to the matrix too, I think,
Just paste it in there.
yeah, if you wanna just. Link it,
From the district.
I think, I'll make sure you have access.
That was always a bit of a problem. If you're outside the districts, like when I got hired, but I hadn't started yet, like I couldn't email my principal ever. Cause I was like,
Yeah, that'd be good, put on a page at the bottom,
Yeah, which page is it?
just, it's none of those. So
It's
it's
the
this,
retirement thing.
yeah,
There, I'm putting it inside the
is
matrix.
this the thing I should be?
well.
I'm just keep bugging you.
You are.
I just go to the matrix and it's copied and pasted in a column of the matrix.
What did you do?
Replacement of work days?
Where did you put- Oh, did you just have a new tab?
No, it's literally in there.
Pasted it in there.
Under what?
Your
Compensation, to the right of compensation. Levi,
Are
you
you
seen
just
it?
not
There's
connected to
nothing
the
there.
internet?
Yeah, I think you
Like,
might
are
have-
you-
Might
maybe
be
it's just
Yeah, it's probably, it's not me, it's you. It's not you, it's me.
But
So,
it doesn't show you as part of the matrix either, so.
Like that you're out viewing it.
Are you here?
He's entered a different reality. Come back. Come upstairs.
will it show me now?
I feel like we could have typed this video.
But he also knows
Maybe I
that
could
as
do
soon as he starts typing it,
I mean,
email's
there's,
gonna
to be
go
fair, there's
through.
also this stuff to take out.
Yeah, but maybe I can just. Okay, so what page is this though? Section H.
I think it's like
Page.
25. Yeah, it's currently on page 25. It's
She knew off the top of her
second
head.
page, and well, it's because I had just looked at it.
Oh, not that impressive, very average. Take that back.
And this is in the art free salaries. and wages.
Levi, check your email now. No, it didn't go through. I don't know what the hell's going on. Somebody shut down my email.
Well,
HR
you've
guy.
been known to be a little crazy with birthdays.
Yeah, that's true.
Can't handle.
Yeah.
I don't know who keeps moving that. I thought it was
That's a
true.
huge melon. That's a huge melon.
I don't know how true this is, 'cause social media is where I got my information, but apparently bald eagles.
It's got a picture. What brought a bald eagle?
I don't know if it's bald, I think it was, will attack bald heads because they like to smash their food on stones and they'll pick at the stone.
Switch over to electric stuff.
So yeah, again, my
So is that
sources are great.
You see the proposal with BOE edits, so that's the language you guys were just looking at. And then Article 3, Section H, add upon retirement, any accrued, nope, not accrued,
Accursed. Any accursed but unused paid time off.
unused paid time off should compensate a rate of $75 per day, and then remove the first 3 paragraphs under years of service percentages.
Looks good.
I kind of feel like you should have put them in 2 different ones so we could vote twice, but whatever. It's just me.
You just like to vote.
Yeah,
We could, no, actually, we did that. I was like, we could vote yes for the first one, and then just be like, never mind. But no, actually, we like the second one, so.
it's my job.
We all good? Trying to find you weren't fast enough.
Sorry.
Doesn't quite have this.
Your voice is really struggling. I say, as a
Dave,
person who
Brennan,
spent
Struggle.
all of last week doing
Yeah,
that.
everybody's here, okay.
I've had worse.
Isn't it late?
Right underneath fair dismissal. Or right by fair dismissal. Second one.
It's yellow.
He's looking at the
Yellow.
list.
It's yellow.
Leave.
Oh,
Going down.
oh, it is.
Yeah,
It's
down,
under
down,
me.
down.
It's
Look
like-
at the board. Right there.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh, leave it alone.
I probably should name the tab lead as well.
cold, cold, hot.
I'll change it to tab lead.
Want me to green that out?
Yeah, go ahead.
Josh just needs to feel needed.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm such a competent woman.
So we just voted on them, both of them together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Without-
Yep.
that one was very good at that. I mean, legitimate for that one, that one.
That's why I'm like, you guys worked on that last year and it bites.
That's 2 years in the making right
Well,
there.
it's true for that's like decades. I know for a fact they tried that in the 2000s at one point.
Better late than never.
Sorry.
Encore.
That's the.
That was a good one.
It's- Yeah,
All right.
man, I should have the right time. I'd be like, I helped you that, did
Shall
I
we-
help?
Shall we ruin the vibe, Joe? Or?
Do this. No. You got this.
There you go.
So are
Combat veterans.
we moving on to compensation?
Yeah, let's do it.
Do we pass that one out first? Proposals to the supplemental salary schedule?
Oh.
Do that one
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
So we had, and it's just, the sped supplemental, breaking that into 3 tiers.
Let's see what the team looks like.
Yeah.
Yes, poker face. What are you doing?
Oh, interesting.
I forgot about this one.
Well,
And the board just approved last night the implementation of three tiers for paras that follow the same breakout. So there's a para 1, para 2, para 3 based on the same criteria.
Oh, sorry.
So I think we were actually along the same lines with our thought process, but I think, you know, we were thinking of also a tiered situation here about who's writing IEPs. I'm gonna speak for myself. I won't speak until I have my team on this one because they're gonna know more about SPED than I am. But I think the way you guys laid out also makes a lot of sense. So yeah.
The only, I guess, I kind of see the rationale behind this. I guess my concern with that would be that's gonna change all the time, right?
Yeah.
So what you have for IEPs in August is gonna look completely different, the number of IEPs you're gonna have in April. And that could be more than likely,
Right.
but sometimes it could be less.
Yeah.
If we got kids moving, you know, you're gonna test kids to see if they qualify. That number is pretty fluid all the time, so it's really hard to base that on IEPs.
We did try to we talked to a lot of the special ed teachers and they pretty much agreed 20 is the high end cap for what feels feasible. So that's why we put that.
Yeah, the intent was definitely trying to find a way to not a hard cap because we know it's impossible, right? We understand that it has to be fluid at times, it has to be flexible, but having a way to where, okay, if we are asking them to do more than usual, just getting some extra compensation there for it was definitely the intent of that.
Because our numbers are good right now. Sometimes in the past the numbers have been very high in some of those rooms.
The other thing I would say too, and it doesn't always happen that way, but ideally it should be the classes that are more intense are gonna have fewer IEPs.
Right.
But they're working really hard in the classroom.
Yeah, which is I like how you
That's
listed
why
some of them.
I understand that this
we
is
talked
this
about
this makes a lot of
Right, I
sense.
think they're both flexible with understanding the way to pay whether that's tiers and stuff.
Because I would also say that, you know, let's take the high school, I think is a good example. If I'm a CWC SPED teacher, I can take on more IEPs because my planning and my organization for instruction is gonna look different.
Right.
You know, than if I'm doing, you know, what Paul's gotta do or what Kip's gotta do.
Resource special education is what they what we have in the elementary typically right now, right?
Right.
So it's called.
Yeah, we called it resource CWC just because those are.
Yeah, that's what I was just could we just make resource specify that resource would be 20 or fewer, and then if resource is higher than that.
But then when are we gonna do that? So are we gonna change the supplemental in the middle of the year? You know what I'm saying? That's where I
Yeah,
am.
because it's on your contract.
Yeah, I mean, that's on your contract, so,
Can't change that.
and then am I gonna take money away from you
Just
because you
once a
lose a
year.
kid? And that doesn't seem fair either. You know what I'm saying? You started out with 22, but now you had kids move out and you're down to 18, so we're gonna drop your supplemental in the middle of the year? I mean,
What happened
I mean,
previously was basically they had enough kids for a third teacher, but didn't have a third teacher. So they just put out another 2, but they got paid their same wage, which doesn't seem fair either. The district should have been paying for a whole other.
One of the issues that we heard back was if there's a long-term sub in a position and someone else has to oversee those IEPs because obviously they can't write them, they get compensated for that. But if someone's not hired in a position,
And they just get
there's no compensation for the extra work that was levied. Now that may not be a problem anymore as it used to be, but
I can't speak to openings, but I feel like that's not been an issue, but.
I talked to my staff today and they're nervous about next year. They're looking at starting with 20 and they say they always get more. But it's just.
y'all have questions or concerns?
Do you want to talk us?
Yeah. Rough.
The baseline group. Installed by associate principals and ADs for.
Are you saying that at one?
What did I
point
install?
it's
My
not?
baseline group.
Are you saying that there was a time when?
Okay,
we
just so
not?
you know.
Yeah, it used to be a joy and a
We
delight.
hope on.
Well.
We as in May,
Yeah.
we as in
We.
Oh.
royal me.
The real question here is, do you have a digital copy?
That's every time. Yeah, we need to just make a shared folder and then, like drop stuff into that.
Which one is this?
Do not know for me.
Thank you. Every now and then I have
I
good
didn't
ideas.
see that one share paper.
That's all you need for the night.
We do not, Levi.
That
This,
wasn't. on
this
the
was a
packet.
We're
print
gonna make
Millie.
you work for this. He meant it.
Okay, we are, we'll actually retract our proposal and go with your guys's on that one. I think that was exactly what we were looking for, you guys to do. So, that, we think that was the intent of what we were trying to go for, so we are good with that. Yeah, the only question we had on it was, the provisional, what is that referring to?
They have to have at least a provisional license.
Okay, so it's inclusive of
Yes.
the ones with provisional
Yes.
licenses.
Which I think that's how it's worded in the supplemental now, that they have to have a provisional license to qualify for the current supplemental for sped.
Okay.
So we just
I think so.
kept it on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only, so we did want to get some feedback on something that we're thinking about. We heard about the supplementals, like that causing issues as the numbers fluctuate. So instead, we were wondering, what would it look like to have, at the end of the year, $100 per IEP rating above 20 of the years, just one sum, not.
So
after the year.
It's mostly
So,
trying to like.
I think
spitball.
the other thing that we've gotta think about too is there's a lot of variables in there. Okay, so there's a big difference between whether I'm doing an annual IEP or I'm doing a 3-year IEP. There's a lot more work to do a 3-year IEP.
Okay.
It looks completely different if I'm, like I said, if I'm a CWC sped teacher versus I'm in the lead for the RISE room, because I've got those kids are gonna have a whole lot of service providers, and so there's a whole lot of people that you gotta work with, and so I just have a hard time quantifying that.
Yeah.
When we talk about things like that, because I think about Rebecca Kilgore, I think is a good example. She works her tail off. She would never qualify for any of this, and her IEPs are really, really intense. Caitlin Sotelo is another one. I mean, they've got a ton of people that are doing a ton of different things. Those numbers are never gonna, and I think, I don't think that's fair, because they're putting in the same amount of hours, I would argue. It's just they're not meeting that number. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't know that there's a fair way to do that. I get what you guys are saying, and I do think that that's an issue. I just don't know how. Yeah, that's something, I mean, I think that's something we can definitely talk to Gina about and see if there's something that we can do. And, you know, my recommendation is let's revisit that again next year.
It's definitely a thing that has like a lot of variables, right?
Yeah, I just think there's so many moving
What is
parts to that, and, you know, the hard part is, you know, just like I said with this, and I know you guys are talking about like just at the end of the year numbers, but you know, those numbers are gonna fluctuate all the time. These kids move in, they move out. Yeah. You know,
Well, and
This is why we were trying to figure out, okay.
I just,
who had
for me to write an
actually
IEP,
for that.
for me to write an IEP at, if I'm the resource teacher at Florence Wilson, and I'm writing an IEP for a kid who gets 30 minutes of CWC and 30 minutes of resource for reading, that's a whole lot different than I'm writing an IEP for a kiddo that's in the RISE room at VO. And I don't know how you can, I mean, just based on the numbers, that's not equitable. So.
All right,
Like I said, question. Are we putting this under?
There should be.
I think I just said it in.
This is
That's
sped supplemental
supplemental.
one.
Might need to
Yeah, you might have
refresh.
to refresh.
Supplemental salary schedule, is that where we're at?
Do we have a tablet or something?
Oh, no, I see, never mind. I was just looking at the matrix.
Drew, do we need to vote on the memos that came out of the supplemental committee? Do we need to make that part of it right now?
We've actually never,
Do we not do that?
we've never voted, we've just accepted the recommendations of the supplemental committee.
And that's just like past practice, or not, sorry, bad wording. That's just something that we've
Yeah.
done, like, that we haven't had it come back to the table. Shut up.
Not in my time.
Okay.
So whatever the supplemental committee decides we have to implement?
No, you just always have chosen to.
We've always chosen to,
So if you don't, then we would have to bring it to the table.
yeah, I mean, because I've never been a part of, I've never sent a memo. The only person I've sent a memo to is Rebecca, and to, at the time, Heath, to change the negotiated agreement. We could,
Do you have those?
let me see if I can pull them up.
Like, we're gonna stack the supplemental committee next year, guys. Just kidding.
Oh my God,
I know, I'm like, what?
I'm like, we don't see that. I kind of need to know what it costs.
You
Yeah, I
voted
feel
on
like-
it? Did we vote on it last year?
I don't remember. I can go look at our.
Do we have anything that we voted on now?
It was essentially a
Yeah,
rubber stamp.
we added, I remember we added like
Yeah,
a
we
leader
added
in
leader
me.
in me.
Oh, yeah, we did this
Yeah.
year. We voted on later.
Yeah.
Yeah, we voted on later.
Now you're all alive.
You want, can I go through these from the side?
Yeah.
If I can't get this sent to you, Blue Line?
Seems to be an issue today.
I mean, my internet's working, I just don't know what's, that's my email.
Do you need to sign in again?
I had a kid in my class in the fall with the last name Wise, and I got a text that fixed all.
You got things fixed in a hurry, probably. As I said, my email's working, and my email's not working.
You didn't type that whole thing?
Maybe you know how to two types of things in. I mean, you probably are gonna have to do it because it's.
At least it's not long, you know.
No, you're right. Is leap and rise, are those
All caps?
all caps?
Yeah.
I understood
Reaching into restructured environments and learning,
What is START?
that's an acronym too.
Is that?
That's the day school.
Oh.
These are things that we should go through the committee.
Yes, amen. Amen.
You're earning that
Let's
SAT
at least,
more and
let's at
more.
least name the rooms the same name all the way,
Strive,
pre-K through 12.
strive, all caps too?
If they're on the same line, it should have the same.
Title.
If you wanna give them a nickname, go for it.
Strive, rise, lead, start. Rainbow Bridge.
I mean, I'm sure they all serve a purpose, I just figured it all have the same name.
Level 3 inclusive special education, and then under that could be like.
They used to
Level
be-
4.
Can you click on that so we can see?
This.
I have
Hey,
a link.
Russ,
I can't-
Russ, you got something?
So. It used to be you had. That's probably the estimation. And then you had
Josh
self-contained.
goes, we've gotta be better at typing in these
That was
like.
really all.
Which I miss.
But
Are you?
because we're gonna start to kind of.
I don't know, are you done?
I am almost done.
Never mind, I'm back.
All right, if you're fresh, you should be listening.
It's good to me.
Good job.
Shall we vote?
I'm really good at thinking. It's really good because there's a little pause. That's it, that's all you get.
That's all we get.
They give me dopamine and I'm sorry. I'm sorry if they don't give you dopamine and you have to suffer some. I just know how to reward myself.
We got, so, and then we just need to vote on the other stuff on, that went through, so, or,
Yeah, but we can, I don't think anybody's gonna have a problem with it necessarily,
I was like,
I do think it's important to have. So let me take, let me just call this supplemental then, instead of supplemental.
in the middle, but we're here.
She did call on the.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
I think that was
wrong.
wrong.
That my kids were pretty excited. I didn't have time.
She did. The one
Figured.
figure, just,
I had faith, I just,
you really?
yep, she's got it. I
All the way out.
mean,
That's what matrix and supplemental, right?
I feel like I could do it, but it's like the whole year. Something.
Oh, yeah.
Like she just like,
She does that for fun.
wait, I would be in pain and it would take me so
Well,
long.
and at least sometimes I'm like, how did you even know to do that?
Right. Where'd you get that? Yeah.
Like, how did
For
you?
this, I
Like, when
never would have
was-
thought
when I
of
was missing 20%, oh, yeah, sorry. Like,
All that.
you're right. My bad.
I'll make that yellow.
it. Like, did you like see it?
Uh-huh.
I know.
Nice.
I'm
Good.
kind of jealous.
Yeah.
Yep, that's
Kind of
actually
being a
all
person.
we had other than proposals on what to do with the base and longevity. So if there's more before, that we need to discuss before that.
I think last time, the only thing we wanted professional personnel activity was, we want to change the dollar amounts. Which one we wanted to add, wanted to come up with a list of,
Like where it says timer and all that,
Yeah.
yeah.
so last
Did
year, did we remove all those just to make it cleaner?
Well, we-
Removed some that were listed in there, but I think that they're,
no.
Do you have a
we're
list
doing
of,
right.
do you have a list of what you wanted? Like I had to add robotics. Did we talk about that or is that something we
That's
wanted?
supplemental though.
No,
No,
it's
that's
a,
on
it's a,
Like robotics.
it's an hourly.
Oh, I got you.
I have,
Yeah, I have that.
the problem is I asked
Okay.
certified employees to like provide names, but they don't know the names of the person, the duty they're doing, really. It's just like, I do this, like, so I don't know what type of names to tell you. I just know it's not falling under the negotiating agreement. The reason I know that is because they're getting paid less than we bumped it last year. So like we bumped up $1 for a few different things, and they're still getting paid less because it's not a negotiated agreement. And so, which I'm kind
They're
of okay
getting
with.
paid less than $12 an hour.
According to them, they are at least.
I would like to see that
you?
because we've been instructed, like
To make
payroll,
12
yeah.
up.
Mhm,
12 is the minimum.
mhm. Unless like a
Come back to
unless a principal is writing a specific dollar amount maybe on it. I mean, but Anne knows that 12's the minimum unless, like I said, maybe somebody's writing something on there before they come to her and she's using that. I would just like to dig in because it shouldn't be happening, I guess I should say. I won't say that it's not, but it should not be.
Oh, you know what? So it was $12 an hour, but that's what they had been getting. And so the misunderstanding came from like, we added $1 to all the positions that were in the negotiated agreement last year. And so those got bumped $1 and then hers didn't though, I guess was the issue. She's like, was one of mine that got the $1 raise. So that's kind of where they came from.
And I don't remember like the structure last year. Was it exactly like 11, 11, 11, 11, 12, 12?
Yeah.
So was hers maybe one that got removed and fell into another category? No.
It's just a position that was outside of negotiating.
And it's not a one that's listed here.
So she was getting 12, but because it wasn't listed.
It didn't get the
She
Yeah, bump
continued
up.
to get 12.
So how do you wanna address this?
Well, that's why I guess how many extra duties are there? I guess there's probably a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if you put every single one of them in there, it'd be a lot.
A long list.
So maybe we just need to put in there like a
Like a minimum of 12?
minimum, something like that.
Well, I mean, that kind of exists,
What page
right?
is that on?
Does it?
9.
Provided, however, that such additional assignments will be compensated at not less than the lowest rate of hours set forth above.
Oh.
So like, I think that does
Still getting
provide
12.
like a de facto minimum,
Minimum.
like whatever the lowest thing is there is the lowest that it can be for anything.
What position is the talking about?
I don't have permission to tell them if I said the position, it would give it away, so. I'll ask her, but
Did we vote on adding robotics or did we just both have that?
No, I think we did.
Okay.
we did, yeah.
Yeah, we did.
So, I mean, honestly, that kind of actually answered my question, in that
It
$12
clarifies.
is kind of, so we're actually, I think we're really fine with that one.
Okay.
So,
Did you get those emails? We looked through that email.
well, I did, yeah.
The one you retyped?
No.
Oh.
The meeting approvals.
Oh. I thought it was
Oh,
the-
yeah.
The supplemental, so it's like we already voted on that.
I know.
It's almost like you have to bite it, but you don't bite grapes, right?
When I was-
Oh, no, I
Oh,
like
I
it.
do,
Bite 'em.
because
You
if
don't wanna
it-
choke on it.
If
Too late.
it has a seed in it, I would take the seeds out.
When I was a kid, we went to Taiwan, on vacation, and all of the grapes in Taiwan are like that. They're all monsters.
Really? Are they
The
seeded?
skin on the grapes is really, really thick.
You've been
And
to
you-
Taiwan?
And you have to peel the skin off of it to eat them because it's so thick.
Huh.
Things you didn't know about.
Kiwi.
Yeah,
Can
that's.
you imagine you're in Taiwan?
My dad retired from the Air Force, right? And then he went back to work at the same base that he retired from as a civilian. And my mom was sacking groceries at the commissary, and she made friends with this lady, and she was from Taiwan. Her name was Wing Xing Su, and we called her Sue. And so Sue's husband was gone, and my dad became really good buddies, and they went fishing and stuff. And they became like really good family friends, and we actually went to Taiwan with them.
How old
on
were you?
vacation. I was 4th grade.
Did you live
That's
overseas?
cool.
No, never went overseas. My dad was a finalist to go do DoD work in Japan. Would have been my senior year, and I told him, if you guys go, that's fine. I won't be going because I'd gone to school in Cheyenne from kindergarten all the way through, and I wasn't going to leave my senior year.
Oh, I
So I
did.
was going to go stay with my older sister and graduate Department of Defense.
I did. I left Oregon for my
And I
senior
was
year.
like, "Dave,
Kindergarten through, I did half a year kindergarten in California. And then, we moved to Oregon. And then
I could have gotten
that second
this
half of
work.
kindergarten year through 11th grade, and then I moved my senior year.
All that.
Okay, we gotta
It was
go.
tough.
Wait,
was
twice. Wait, 2 times.
But my mom's doctor mom she was a smoker and she had really bad emphysema and COPD, and the doctor told her that it probably wouldn't be good for her to go over there, so dad had to turn the job down.
Under supplementals, the robotics, wrestling, and cheer, supplemental committee recommendations are in there now.
Out of 10.
So if I just click on one at a time, so everybody can see them. So this one is robotics supplemental pay to increase from an S1 to an S2. I'll discuss that one since that's the one I brought. Basically, I broke down the per hour pay for my son's coach at Paul's Brown, and she was getting about $7.50 an hour. out of S1 for as many hours she put in. So S2 would increase that to about $13 an hour. Still not great, but better.
Is it possible for me to?
Oh, yes, yeah. I would- I
How
would
many,
do
is that at every
for
elementary?
two.
Well, and I go back to that one, the robotics S2 just matches the intermediate also. And what we are finding is that the elementary schools, they are having to do most of theirs outside of time because of SEL being involved during the day, whereas at the intermediates and middles, they embed it into the day. And so we're finding that at the elementary level, there's a lot more outside contract.
Yeah,
With
all
robotics.
of Walter Brown practices were from 7:10 to 8:10 in the morning.
Is there just one,
Coach.
coach per building? Or are there multiple? Do you know?
She was the only coach Walter Brown. I don't know what. it is.
There can be multiple, but they split the supplemental half and half if there is multiple,
And how many elementary buildings have it?
all of them.
All of them. How many is that?
11.
I'm just getting dollars. That's my job.
And don't forget when you do that to add in
Payroll taxes.
payroll
Josh.
taxes. All right, next one is wrestling.
This was no change in dollar amounts there, just good. So you can put it down. No, I'm just kidding. This one's just taking out boys from the wrestling supplemental titles. So it's a currently says boys wrestling coach, and obviously they coach boys and girls now.
Agreed.
Pretty easy. We just didn't do it when we should have.
And if you want to do this one, go through.
Yeah, so this one's a little more complicated. The dollar amount, Jess, is actually a little bit less. We're going from 9870 down to 9400. But in the past, when we had wrestling cheer as an actual thing, when we used to cheer on the mat for wrestling, we had in the wintertime a head basketball cheer coach and a head wrestling cheer coach. In the past decade, in 5 and 6A, we don't allow mat side cheering anymore. And when that happened, we've just never adjusted the negotiated agreement to match our actual practice. So what Matt did is Matt went back and readjusted everything. The cheer coordinator is your cheer head coach, and then you have your football season, your basketball season, your 2 seasons of sport, and you'll see that in there with a head cheer coach for the fall, a head cheer coach for the winter. It'll be a little bit less pay, but it'll clean everything up, and it eliminates the seasons. So the football season, basketball season, wrestling season. And then it also creates that, it also has that fall coach, freshman coach, just like we currently do.
I asked Fire if he would have that conversation with the new cheer coach, because she was hired prior to this change, obviously. And so I asked Fire if he would have a conversation. He said it shouldn't be a problem. So.
He talked to her and it wasn't an issue.
I'm good with it. I'm making other notes.
No good. We'll vote on that one. Good.
Everybody keep playing that.
She just snorted too.
Amber snorted.
Only the person that's going to is Randy's wife.
It's all
So,
like you try to
is
keep
that
it
all the
inside and it
supplemental?
comes out
Is that
anyway.
what scheduled in, Levi?
It's not gonna come out the mouth.
You agree on that one?
So-
The matrix? You double check.
Keep tiptoeing over it all.
good. The only question I have is, I don't know, this wouldn't be a supplemental, I guess, was the international teacher things I talked about last time. I don't think that goes in the supplemental, that'd probably be like a solid schedule regulation.
Oh, the language about that we would pay their fee.
Yeah, because I know you guys have to legally do it, but again, I just every year, not every year, but all year, I've been getting questions about that, and I'm like, guys, I already told them, they legally have to do this, but they said, it's not a negotiated agreement. I'm like,
I think that's where we stand is we legally have to do it. It's really not a negotiated thing.
right,
Like,
yeah. I was just trying to codify that so I could point them in the right direction, but you guys, don't think that's.
I don't have a problem visiting with them about it. If people have questions.
yeah, you can send it to Drew.
They need to go.
It's on right now.
I have no problem discussing with them. You can send them to Drew.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for all the support.
That's it.
You know. All right. Do we want to dig into money or do we want to talk about some of this other stuff? I think Jess is ready to go. Okay.
Money?
We do this stuff without this.
Okay, I'll pass these out and then I'll kind of explain, I guess, kind of the rationale. So probably where we need to start first is the projected new money in the gray. So general fund, 1.53, LOB, 345,000. I got Drew to close 5 positions to get us to 2.25. So I took that and gave certified basically all of it in 2 options above. Putting that much into the base is 1450. No fringe increase as we've discussed, and you can see why down below where the health reserves, how we've been able to grow that fund and maintain it. And then below that is just the breakdown, the employer, so the district's paying 85% of all premiums, the employees at 15%. So then I know that you guys last year, we talked a lot about rewarding those that have been here the longest. So if you go below, the light blue is what we currently have for longevity payments paid in December, which we've gotten a ton of feedback that people like that right before Christmas, use that for Christmas shopping. So to reward longevity, we felt like it would be good to do it that way. So then that there at the bottom is just kind of different criteria and amounts. And then the increase of that is up above in the first option. And then as you can see out to the side, a 4.03% raise without the supplementals or longevity included in that. So on average, certified employees would see a little over 4% increase, and then up above, it's the 3.7 because I did not include the longevity payment on that. So these are kind of the 2 proposals that we came up with. And again, got comfortable using all the projected new money on certified. We have some admin turning over that were higher paid being replaced with lower paid. So feel like the increase that we want to give, basically the same percentage of increase that we would like to give the admin would be feasible with the savings we're going to get from more tenured principals leaving. And the same with classified. We've got a couple big retirements that are going to help. They won't cover the increase for classified. But again, looking at that same between 3.5–4% for them as well. And this does not include, I just calculated the supplementals that we've added through the 2 different councils and the robotics now. So that would add another like 38,000, and that's without payroll taxes. So I just wanted to point out that's not included up above. So if you put that up above, then you're looking at more, you're actually spending more than the projected new money plus the 5 closed positions, putting that back into certified staff.
So, sorry, to clarify this, like longevity proposal at the bottom, that only goes with the one that's 1250 on the base? Is that?
Correct,
okay.
yep. And again, like the reason that, like, we felt it was important on the projected new money. I don't want you guys to think like, oh, like admin and classified aren't even calculated in this. How is the district gonna do this? We actually cut 3 admin positions, and have absorbed 9 positions in the ESC through attrition in the last couple of years. And if you didn't know or see the email, that the board did pass Grow Well. So that's another thing that we are going to invest in, and feel like that should really save employees deductible dollars if they're able to use that clinic. And hopefully by people using that clinic and not turning it into our insurance, then in turn our premiums should hopefully be held steady.
I will tell you from experience, and Randy can too, you will save a ton of money with kids in that clinic.
My doctor, I got a note saying my doctor's leaving, so. I'm just gonna-
I haven't had a doctor since I switched to school insurance and went off the PD. I literally have not had a doctor since I left for a while.
Oh, 'cause you've
well, yeah,
had Grow Well
you
before.
do, yeah.
That's gonna, yeah.
When you calculate the dollar amounts, is that based off of current FTE or? is
That's as
projected?
of March 7th, 2025.
Okay.
Yep. And I've been watching Drew, like it's pretty much close, open, like to maintain that.
Questions, concerns? All right, let's go Chris. We'll take 15. 708.
Let's drop that roll.
I would have just be awake.
I'm upset.
That's completely accurate. Rebecca's like. Let's record it, so I'm out.
Oh, yeah, I'll go back on the video.
Oh, absolutely, 100% agree with that.
I think the video's pointed this way, I think.
That's true.
We have cameras in here you don't know about.
I feel like there's
No
nobody.
Wi-Fi.
I feel like you shouldn't admit to that.
Nobody in this room who would mess with you.
No, not at all.
Complained about the unhealthy
I have never messed with anyone.
Oh, that's. It's also gaslighting.
Oh, because I touched my brother.
Listen, I work.
Go ahead, say the next thing. Probably say the next thing.
I also did bring chocolate.
Oh.
So,
Those are gonna have to get
That's
put back
better than
in.
carrots.
I know.
Before we get started, would you guys be okay if Linda substitute with Amber? She's not feeling very well. I would like to tap out.
Get out of here.
Yes.
I'm sorry you feel that.
I suppose.
Okay.
We'll blend down.
I'll blame it on the chili.
I didn't eat the chili,
But I thought it was.
but I knew my stomach wasn't feeling good before that, so I chose not to eat the chili, but yeah.
Don't trip on the cord.
I'll
Linda.
do my best.
I'm not following what it's called.
Okay.
All right. You want mine, you have yours.
I mean, if you're gonna be on there creating a hazard.
But you have your Bible. Yeah, okay. You can, yeah, look on hers.
Feel better, girl.
All right, thank you. I have to, I don't have days.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah, you would. I guess. you
It's you eyeballs it.
Who's that?
Maybe.
Maybe.
But that's like, oh no, it moves.
Oh,
doesn't
you
it?
saved Becca's life.
I was like, it's looking at the
Well done.
ceiling. Okay.
It's not. Better second time.
Just feel better.
Oh, you have peanuts. Nope, just contains milk. Oh. I didn't know that peanuts weren't treated.
No, they're
Those are meat.
beans.
That does not clear that at all.
They're picture like peas.
Just
A bean.
I'm not allergic to it.
Okay. Good input.
Do that. Like when you're in a vegetable.
Okay.
So,
I just want you to know it's hard to take it serious, right?
I know, right? I was actually gonna read about that. Literally, as I was staring at Barbara, what? Maybe I should have waited on this one. Yeah, Tracy. So the actual dollar amounts, we are not far off on, in terms of like what we would like to devote towards the salary schedule. But the things not matching up for us is like where the costing comes from. For example, like the steps only, that seems way more expensive than we had calculated for steps only. So I don't know if there's something we might be missing in terms of extra costs when it's just steps. For example, we have 526 certified employees and 100 of them don't get a step because they're already at the bottom of the salary schedule. So we just don't know how we get to that number.
The eating.
Yeah, we're good on that.
Other side.
Like particularly, I would say, because I have some stuff that I've kind of made about like what are maybe some estimates of cost, and obviously I don't necessarily have like as good of information as you have for this, so there's some amount of like, you know, error that exists. But when I look at like differences between like, when I look at like calculations in my thing, if I put in the like 1450 on the base and then like subtract how much like, and my calculation for how much that costs and then subtract the steps, it is roughly the same as like taking your, you know, like 2.1 million minus 1.1, that seems to match up. But I'm not 100% clear on how the
Yeah,
steps number.
see, I just put 0 in mine, and again, it came up with 1,108,077. And that's based on 611.5 positions. I don't know how many positions you are.
If you're only figuring 500, you're just looking at your bargaining unit, you're not looking at all the teachers. Because your retired
This is
teachers
not-
and stuff are not gonna be the bargaining unit.
The number, so like the numbers that I have are coming out of.
And so this would have open positions included, those that long-term subs are filling.
So it's including the costs of like entirely newly staffing those like open positions.
Yeah, so what I did is I took current staff, gave them all a step, and then I put like 50 on 0. Because a lot of teachers we're bringing in aren't gonna be at 0. And so as Drew has hired, we plug them in. But yeah, we have, so I have bottomed out. Let's see. And I can't tell if that's like ones that have just moved down to the bottom one, or if they were already there last year. So with that being said, like around, let me highlight the bottom of every column. So at the bottom of every column, I have 127. And like I said, I don't know if that's like how many just got there.
Yeah. So, and I think that, so when I go do this thing, like, and I go look at like the salary data that you send us, and I pull out like, okay, who's in what spot basically, and then like arrange it in the thing, and then go in and like advance people. I do think that it's possible that there are some specialists and stuff that like I don't end up pulling in that because they're listed in a slightly different way on stuff. That feels like a real big difference. I'm just gonna try to figure out.
When you say the 126, that's about how many we had on the last step as well. But in your steps only calculation, would that calculate them as having a $0 step? Because technically, if you don't add anything to the base, that would be their step.
Yeah.
It would be $0. Or does it
For the new people, like at
for the
0.
people at the bottom of the column?
Oh, yeah. So like it would be 0. Yeah.
It would be 0, right?
Yep. So like, I guess, if I look at, because it says it's like a 1.62% average increase. So if you take that 1.1 million divided by the 611.5, it's like an $1,800. So like it's a lot of it is because of those bottom steps being the steps being so big. So like once you get to the bottom of the scale, it's like a 2.5, 2.6, 2.8, 2.2 increase. And then also it may be that a lot of them hit that 10-year, 5-year where it's 1,000 or 1,100 or 1,200. So that could be playing into it as well.
Like when I look at mine, because I have a tab in my thing that's just like what the current counts are, like right now, because there's like a comparison thing happening. So like when I look at this, I only see 1, 2,
And
like in the current counts, and again, this might be missing some like specialists and stuff because it's looking specifically for like, here's how these teachers are listed, and then what, and operating under some assumptions that like, okay, this is most of the people. Like, I see literally 5 people who will newly reach a bottom step next year.
yeah, I don't have that information.
So
I
that,
will
like,
tell you one thing.
That's just kind of hard for me to like
that
square a little bit with the idea of like an average $1,800.
Yeah, and I
I'm
will
just
tell
wondering
you
what's
that this is as of when I did this, pulled this data, it was January 17th, 2025. So there would be some differences in the people Drew's brought in since then. It does not also include the 5 positions that he closed, like, those are still counted in here, like, I just realized that, so that would be a little free up.
I just think that there's the only way that the steps can reach the high is if we're counting all the people at the bottom of the salary schedule as newly getting those steps. I think that would be possible because like we do have a lot of people at the bottom of the steps, like a good majority. And if they were newly to that bottom, then yeah, I could totally see how that number gets there.
That could be, I see what you're saying. Because the calculation, yeah, so the way that this works is it looks at all of them on that step, getting that increase.
Okay, so that's where the.
Okay, so that makes some sense.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, and I probably need to make note of that. Yep.
Cool, I like figuring out where things happen.
She's like, I knew there was something.
I think that was the big thing we had to try to figure out, so we're gonna need a caucus again.
Okay.
That's right, you guys. 35 minutes?
35 minutes or
7:35.
Can you go to my office this time so I can
Yeah.
put on?
Anybody else want a fudge sickle? Cause I
I'll
didn't know.
go take.
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna put them in the freezer before they.
Wants one.
You better take.
You want carrots? Oh, yeah, you got carrots. I thought you wanted, you need this, here you go ahead.
I really want carrots.
You could do both.
Eat this and think it's carrots rather than eat carrots.
If you look at the carrots while you eat it, the carrot calories. Since I was.
I only said no for so long,
Jessica, I don't know if you'd be open to this at all. And I know you're off this week. I wonder if it would be like worthwhile for like the two of us to kind of get together at some point and just talk about like how that stuff is getting calculated, just so that we're operating from like similar on similar frequencies.
How what's being calculated?
Just like how we're like calculating some of those numbers. I just think that if we're like in a perfect world, like we would be using, you know, similar ways to get there.
Well,
I just wonder if that. would
Are
be
you
good
still
to know.
using that Excel spreadsheet that I sent you guys last year? 'Cause that's what I use still.
I mean, I'm using the thing that I have made in
Oh,
the past,
So you
so.
did your from last year.
I mean, like all I really did was go look at my thing. From last year, and like update counts. I'm like update like the salary schedule.
I'm not opposed to that, but my boys have state rodeo finals.
Sure, I got you.
Since I'm out, like I'm out the 21st to the 23rd. I'm out the rest of this week. I'm out next Monday. We have
Gotcha.
negotiations next Tuesday, so there's not a
Okay.
time before the next meeting anyway.
Okay.
But I have no problem sharing the spreadsheet that I used, if you think that would help. But I mean, it's exactly the same as last
yeah,
year,
I
just
would
put my
be-
new numbers in it.
I would be interested in that. I think, well, I know you said that stuff last year. I don't know if I still know where it is.
Oh,
so.
gotcha. Fair enough.
I think I would be interested in that because I think it would help to like figure out maybe where, like, I don't know. I teach physics, so I do a lot of.
How much are we off by?
Like, I mean, and like I said, I don't.
Because I mean, I look
really-
at that and, I mean,
Right.
we're talking pretty much all new money's going to
Right.
your guys' salary.
Oh, no, I don't think. it's
I
not
know,
the,
I think that we're,
It's not the dollar amount that we're off on. It's the where the dollars are coming from that we're off on, that we're like a little like, okay, where are these specific dollars coming from for steps only supplementals? Like, we're just trying to understand
Okay.
yeah, I don't, this is, I think that,
we'll give you our proposal here in a minute, and then you guys can see like
because I
what we
definitely
think
think,
it costs is not far off from what you guys are costing. It's just what that looks like.
Yeah.
Sorry.
because I also, like, I just think in general, like going forward, like, it would be nice to be able to feel like we were on the same page with how those things are being calculated. I think that would be helpful in terms of like evaluating that kind of stuff, right? I don't know. Yeah, if you send me that thing and like I'll look at it and then we can maybe email with questions.
Okay.
There's also a little bit of this, honestly, that is like, I teach physics and part of that is like, I like finding like
Anomalies.
What is happening here? Like, why is this different than this? Okay, so, I'm just gonna pass out what we like prepared to come tonight with. And so there's two papers in here. There's well, they're not whole bunch. So the front page is like what the salary schedule would look like. And then the second page is like the steps, right? And I have, I have an electronic copy of this that I will also send you.
So did you increase steps?
Yes, so some of them did have some changes. Oh, I guess I should just give you some things to pass down.
Are you guys more in, like, like you would favor increasing steps over longevity?
Yeah, I was
I
just
think
gonna say
so.
that is one of our,
You want to reward all people, not just necessarily people in the district.
yeah, and as we compare districts, including with longevity payment and fringe benefits, the places we fall short often in the salary is within that master's levels, master's plus 15, plus 30, plus 45. That's where we most often are the most.
I think we talked last year, like part of that is because we offer more columns than a lot of districts do. But you guys aren't willing to give up a column, correct? Is that what last year
I mean,
came to
I
be?
think that it would depend a lot on the proposal, right? I think that is hard to do in a way, and it depends on a lot of other things, but I think that in most cases that is hard to do in a way that doesn't result in like somebody who is currently in a spot taking a pay cut, right? Because you're like trying to, if you're if you're going to make it so that there's fewer columns and you're gonna eliminate, I don't know, masters plus 45, then like it is hard to do that without it costing a lot of money, just taking the masters plus 30 column and making it that amount that it was, right? It's just gonna cost more.
And I think that's why we haven't done it.
Right.
But I think that is why we fall short on
Right.
some comparisons to other districts.
I think with regards to the like longevity bonus also, like, I think that there's some ways in which putting stuff there, like, I understand that people like the longevity bonus and I like it when I get it in December, right? But I also think that it introduces some ways in which it makes it hard for people to like evaluate those comparisons, and that like, I don't know, it just feels a little bit weird in those ways sometimes where like, and maybe some of this is my own bias from like being on negotiations and having to sit here and try to evaluate them, right? Of like, man, this is a lot of work to figure out like where stuff is in this place. So I sent Jessica and Josh a link to like, just like a view link to like my Google Sheets version of this.
So did you estimate an approximate cost? Cause when I put like a 2,000 base increase in mine, it's over 2.6 million, and that's without adjusting
Yeah,
steps. So
so
I
let
think we're
me-
pretty far off,
Yeah,
actually.
so I'll go ahead and look at, on our like costing thing, when I did this, so just for the record, when I go in on like the advancing steps only, and I'm aware that like my thing has, like, it's not perfect, right?
Right,
It's missing
yeah.
stuff,
Uh-huh.
there's, if we're putting people who are like newly filling positions into stuff, it's not accounting for that. Like, just for the record, when I go do this and I do like advancing steps only, I get like $200,000, which feels like a big difference, right? It's the reason
Yeah.
why I'm like, what is happening?
How
Right, something
many
is happening.
employees are you using again?
It was the like 500 and
526.
whatever.
Oh, so we're almost
Right.
100 employees different, cause we're 611.
Yeah,
Yes.
but that would still wouldn't account for that big of a
No,
difference.
I
So-
agree.
So that's why we came back, like, we were still unsure of what we have wrong here.
So
or-
for the record,
So like
when-
200,000, you said? Right?
yeah, like, and yeah, like 200, yeah, about 200,000, I don't.
Divided by 525, that's only 380. We don't even have a step that small.
That's true, but there are people who are trapped on those bottom steps that it doesn't increase at all. So there's, approximately, how many did we say? 150.
Yeah, we
About
actually, I went
100
and
people.
counted from last year, but I left it open in my office, so it's not letting me open it here.
What did
Yeah.
we say,
If you need
526?
to password, it's Wednesday, the capital L14. I also have a document saved called.
Yeah,
passwords on my-
So when I do that, but I put 400 people in, because I'm taking out, like, there's definitely something happening
Mhm.
a little bit on both ends, I think. Or maybe it's on my end, like, I don't know, right? Which is the reason why
'Cause you
I'd be
feel like
interested,
you're-
why I'd be
you're
interested to look at like what is happening differently here. Yeah. So additionally, I can also give you a number for what, like, on our costing thing, this would cost. Which I can give you this number electronically too if you want it, but where is it? Like when I pulled this out of my costing thing, and it's maybe like 2.2 million, right? And so I feel like there's a place where it's like, okay, like, if we can figure out where, if we can figure out the places where that is like not jiving, I think that it feels like we'll be in a good spot for like coming up with something workable.
I agree.
Cause yeah, we were not trying to come in with a proposal that was $3 million or anything like that.
Right,
Right.
proposal
That was
gonna
not
be
our intent.
unworkable.
So that's why we were mostly focused on like, okay, what's the cost and differences here?
Mhm.
Because we thought even with your initial offers,
Uh-huh.
those are competitive offers. And so we weren't gonna try to come in with something silly that was not our intent at all, so
Right.
that's why.
No,
Yeah.
and I agree, like, you don't, like, if this is the estimated cost per year's, like,
Right.
it's not unreasonable, right? And like you caught something I didn't consider
Right.
with the bottom, so no, I think that's great, and I also will send you, like, who we looked at, like, how many were bottomed out that didn't get a step, and I think we're close on that, cause it was like,
Yeah.
do you remember the number? Let me see if I can do it,
It's 57.
now that I have to change my password. She won. We came up with 102.5, so basically 102, just based
Okay.
on some FTEs, so that were bottomed out that wouldn't get it, so we took that times the step increase at the bottom,
Uh-huh.
and that's where we get the 198.
Cool. Okay. Yeah.
So on that, like, I don't have a problem sending you this, but with that being said, like I'm out until our next
Right,
negotiations, so I don't know if we need to move the next negotiations meeting or if we have enough to talk about otherwise.
Well, we can
We
absolutely
have
talk
some
about other
things
stuff.
to talk about.
Mhm.
I also like, you're out, I may try to
She's
email
gonna go
you some
down a rabbit
questions
hole.
and you can like respond as you can or not. I definitely think that there's like an element of like, I just need a little bit of time to like look at things and be like, what's different, right? Sure. Spot the differences. Cause I like my thing is probably undercounting some stuff in some spots, like. We don't have a step that's only 500 and when I take out the.
Right.
Okay.
A very good thought.
Yeah.
So yeah, next time we can make it, grievance in particular, we can start with that, for next time. And then go into some of the hours, amount of works type stuff. Well, we need to sit at least one more, we're not gonna talk compensation next time, so.
Well, maybe we can talk it next time, depending on how her rabbit hunt.
Well,
Oh, will she not be here?
well,
I'll be here, but that
But
I
it won't
have,
would have had
I'm
You're right.
out and then.
maybe if they figure it out. Possible.
Same.
Yeah.
Thank you. Like to be out.
I'll-
Thank you.
I'll try to look at tomorrow. if I can.
Okay, so
Oh, definitely.
PTO was approved, and then they can ask
And
questions.
then they can, oh yeah, that'd be great for my mental health. Oh,
Field all the questions. Just forward them all to Becca.
can someone help me set up an email rule for Russ Tidwell? Straight to the trash.
Listen, I can help you do that.
Okay. Tom, did I tell you that became a problem for you? I know, that became a problem for me for you. When you used to forward the daily who was gone, that went straight to the trash. But then you took the new job and all our
Yeah.
emails straight to the
Oh.
trash. I'm like, why did I get these emails from Drew? What's
Oh, yeah.
happening?
I had that one too.
Missing all that.
I'd like you to know, I figured out the problem for most of the stuff, because I did not know yours.
Bravo.
He also looked at all the kids that were supposed to be gone.
I did.
I did not.
No, no way I would.
is there anything that we need to have ready before next week?
Um,
Okay, anything you want us to? We talked about professional growth, Brett. What did we say?
Let me go look. I might have already been
Can I like make sure my food matches whatever we're having that day?
I don't know what our deal is with that.
Yeah, it was years.
My kids love them, so I also maybe. Well, there's more in the freezer if you want them, I just want them out, so.
No.
There's only like 3 left, but
Let me get back to you on that, Josh. I'll email you. I'll email you tomorrow with that. I'll make a note.
Okay, yeah, I felt like we talked about it, but I couldn't remember what we talked
I
about.
can't find it very quickly, so
Okay,
I'm gonna get back to you.
the rest of it, I think is
I
probably.
wonder if I wrote it down.
Okay.
Grievance is gonna be the thing. Yeah, is there anything else you know? Not really. So, yeah, the rest of it is fairly straightforward. All right, so dates. What y'all got?
Mine are getting very slim.
That was a bit wrong, that's why I had it on the
May
20th.
22nd, yeah.
We could.
Last day of the year, of course it's not gonna be that. Seriously.
Like, we could make it happen.
We shouldn't.
Tracy, I feel like your voice is
Deteriorating.
Well, the 19th, this is awesome for me too. The 19th through the 23rd, there's a possibility that I won't be here that whole week because I may have jury duty.
What
You'll be
With
here
that
the
said,
evening.
with that said, I'll be able to be here. in the evening. Never mind.
Fun.
Forget I said that. I just won't, yeah, you're right.
That's what a week to get jury.
I
That's
know, I'm like,
awesome.
really? I'm just praying that I don't get selected.
Just say
That would be
something
the
like really racist or something and I'll kick you off. That's fine.
And he'll no longer be the superintendent.
Probably not something I wanna say
Whatever.
publicly as the new superintendent. That's the beginning.
That was fine. We wanna do two next week,
Yeah.
like do Friday.
Like,
Friday, yep, that
We
makes
could do two next week.
so we've
I
got,
mean, I think the thing about that is like when you should put the second one.
The 15th.
I'm out.
Oh,
Randy's out.
I'm
Oh,
out
yeah,
the
that's right.
15th. Never mind, don't do that. I'm out the 15th and 16th. I mean, you don't have to have me.
I mean, if we wanna go into the last week, I would, the 19th, we've got a board meeting, so that night's shot.
So the 20th.
20th would probably be the only night that I would say. I don't know what.
The what days?
the
20th.
19th
The
or
20th.
20th, excuse me.
Let's just go after the board meeting. You're already here.
Yeah,
All nighter.
Jackie.
it's already a long night.
I might be the most mad Jackie's been all this time.
Don't even.
She's like, no, you're
Absolutely
right.
20th, you okay?
My husband's gonna
Rescind
hate me,
your
but I
offer.
could do it.
So your anniversary.
Oh,
No, we pack up to leave early for rodeo finals, but I'll just not be able to help him pack up. That'll be all right.
I think,
It's
yeah.
actually a win-win for
it's
me.
good
For
for
you.
I'm gonna blame
What day?
20th.
20th.
We're still recording. Don't need evidence.
That would be nice.
Yes. In fact, I already had it in my calendar.
Okay, so what
That's why I
time?
didn't
And I'll
have
send
next
an invite
week's.
right now. 4:30, I
Mhm.
assume.
I was thinking.
I'm 18. What's the date?
May 20th.
May 20th.
I'm sending an invite.
We tried that last year.
Can we get a? I mean,
We
can
actually
get a
made progress
physical
doing it though. It was exhausting, but we,
But really, this is looking pretty good. Like,
We were also, I think, back here for the last one, like maybe.
Let's
the-
do this in the bathroom.
yeah.
What is the last day?
Well, we're back here next week too,
22nd.
because there's something else going on in the boardroom.
teachers come the 23rd.
Yes.
Yeah, but students.
When the lights come back on, whoever's still in
So Teachers are done at noon on the 23rd.
Table might be willing to play that.
preschool graduation. Whoever's standing when the lights come back on.
Garfield?
Which,
Oh,
Josh, you're gonna get the boardroom tomorrow. You'll ask Anna.
for the boardroom?
Turn off the lights.
Yeah.
That'll come on.
I'll do it right now.
I understand.
Because if I don't do it now, I won't do it.
We know that.
I know.
Okay, I'm sending this to you. This purple box, everything is purple for me. That means current. That's
Okay.
where you can put the increase in. And then as you scroll down, this is where the increase is, overall budget impact. So if you have questions, holler, but this is what I'm gonna send you, and that's really the only number you ever change,
Okay,
is
cool.
the purple one. And then your increase automatically calculates out.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so I'll send it right now.
Perfect.
And then I cleaned it up and put headings, so you know what bottomed out is the second tab, and that has how many were already bottomed out at the dollar amount. That's where we got the 198.
Awesome. Can we turn off the
And then the
camera?
third one just has the scenarios that we just